Hi. We got some nice feedback, so I'm gonna go ahead and go forward with the StarCraft 2 talks. A couple things that I've decided on is we've decided to use YouTube so you can actually just save it in an easier medium without having to go through Facebook. Um, in addition to that, you can shoot it around to people that you like to try to improve their game if they need it. One thing I wanted to just get out of the way really quick is the main question that I'm getting asked is why am I using the filter? It's because it's like 6:48 in the morning right now, and I'm not going to even tie my hair back into a ponytail. Screw it. Um, so that covers that. Second thing is I was asked, gee, Greg, you really hate World of Warcraft. Well, why do you like StarCraft 2? Isn't that both by Blizzard and isn't that the same thing? Well, that's sort of like saying that a Chihuahua and a Wolverine are the same thing. They're distinctly different animals with different advantages. World of Warcraft is a role-playing experience. That's where you get to pretend that you are a different race. And StarCraft gives you that. Fair enough. But from there, it's completely different. You are trying to level up in World of Warcraft. You are trying to accumulate things. In each game of StarCraft 2, you start fresh. You get the same set number. The difference is you. Um, it's more comparable to chess or Civilization 2. It's a direct strategy game as opposed to a role-playing game in StarCraft 2. It's very, very addictive. As a matter of fact, the only difference between StarCraft 2 and crack is you can get crack anywhere. Um, Another difference is, and this was actually asked about specifically, was fees. People ask, well, how much is the software? Well, that depends on where you buy it, obviously. And the other question is how much is the monthly fee? And the answer is nothing. There is no monthly fee for StarCraft 2. You actually just buy the game. You get a membership on something called Battle.net, and that really takes the game off because that's what connects you with other people. So that's actually kind of a good thing. One person actually asked, well, gee, you're talking about different modes of play. What does that mean? Well, there is a storyline mode that's called the campaign. And with the campaign, you can just play that directly if you want to. And the thing that I really like about the way they set it up is you can get as much or as little out of that role playing atmosphere and storyline atmosphere as you want. You can just click through the missions if you want. You can avoid it entirely if you want. I would definitely recommend, especially if you're new to the game, going through the campaign. The problems with the campaign right now are, well, it's not really a problem, it's a plan. They did a Terran campaign. And in the Terran campaign, there's like one or two missions. Well, actually, I think it's three or four, but I digress. There's a few Protoss missions, and there's not a lot to do if you like Zerg or play Zerg as well, at least not within the campaign. The answer to this is that they're actually making expansions with specific Proto storylines and specific Zerg storylines. So that's going to be something that's going to be nice to see in the future. They kind of did that before, where you had in StarCraft 1 and the expansion Brood Wars. So I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. Well, another question that I got was, did I seriously wait a decade for this game? Yes, I did. I was into the original Warcraft strategy game, then StarCraft came out, then I got all into it, and I really enjoyed it, and been waiting on the sequel to it, but it kept getting pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. Now, a lot of people will be frustrated with that, and a lot of people were and are. I didn't like waiting this long, but I just really, really was interested in seeing where it was going. Uh, at this point, if you take a look at the game and you take a look at the trailers, you will definitely see where that time went. It was time well spent. I'll post a couple of links to a theatrical trailer or two without spoilers, and just to give you an idea of the quality of the cutscenes in this. Next question I had were on the different modes, moving on down the line. Also within single player mode, and by the way, single player mode you don't even need an internet connection for. Um, you can make custom games where you play against the computers. And the reason I say computers is because you can set up things where you have a computer partner and you're fighting two computer enemies or whatever. Uh, that's actually kind of cool. In the multiplayer mode, you actually get a lot more options. The most popular option is going to be quick matches. That's where you choose, I want to fight 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, and so on. You then choose what race you want to play and hit find me a match. At that point, the computer scours the earth and finds partners for you. Usually it doesn't even take a minute, not even 60 seconds to connect with strangers and play. That's kind of cool. I personally don't like playing against people because they tend to get really upset about it. Um, in terms of other options in multiplayer, you can make a custom game. Let's say that you and I are friends and, we don't want to just go through random matches, we want to play together. So we can either make a party and go through quick mode. By making a party, we join forces and say we want to fight this type of battle, and we go through together. If we don't want it to be that randomized, we can set up a custom game. And in the custom game, you and I can participate in whatever map we decide on. New maps are made by users and Blizzard all the time. They're separated by the style of play. You can set just about any detail to it to your specifications, and there's a map editor included, so you can actually make your own map if you want to spend that kind of time on it. It's really neat. My personal favorite is the last section of the multiplayer mode, and that is cooperative. I like playing with other people against a computer. That's a personal choice. I'm fairly good at it. I'm good at working at supporting the other person, and I just really am not that into people getting that mad over a game. In quick match, people take it very seriously. There is a point system and a ranking system, and a lot of people judge things by that ranking system, and I don't. Um, that being said, with co-op, you can actually choose to go 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3, and all the way up to, I believe on a custom game, you can crank it out to up to 4 versus 4. I have not seen a 5 versus 5, but it would be interesting. Um, you can do so many things within the parameters of those options. And again, after you buy the software, there's no additional fee for that. So that's a big difference between that and a lot of the games that are out there. And it also is something that gives you a chance to experience what you're looking for. Also on the cooperatives, you can set the difficulty level. You can also do that with custom games. Um, with that, you can actually make it so you're going against something that's fairly easy. You can jump up and try to grab for something that's a lot harder. It goes all the way up to a level that's called insane. And that actually brings us to the main point that I'm doing the video for, is on cooperative play. A lot of people tend to underestimate the artificial intelligence that runs the opposing teams. Is it predictable? Yes, it is, and that's kind of a good thing. Um, but people say it's just the AI. There's a problem with thinking that way. You will never be able to select units and set builds and move as quickly as the computer does in terms of clicking and selecting and playing, at least not on insane level. At that point, you have to compensate with other things. What a lot of people are doing is they're learning a way to beat the game. And what they'll do is they'll start off with medium, and then on completion of a couple of really good medium matches, they'll jump up to hard. Or some people are even starting off on hard or very hard with the idea of improving through attrition. The problem with this is you are playing with someone else. You're not playing with a computer ally. You are affecting someone else's game. So that's a problem. Another problem is the fact that you've learned a way, one way, maybe two, maybe three. Most people are learning one rush with each race and then trying to see how far they can push it and then openly saying, I play on this level. You don't. What you do is you figured out a way to beat the game on that level. Um, what you see in situations like this is where something small goes wrong or someone makes one mistake, uh, everything falls apart. A good rush is about timing, it's about placement, and it's a skill, but it's not the be-all and all skill. You need to be able to have contingency plans, and the ultimate idea of StarCraft is to come up with your own strategies, not just something that you've seen that works. I would recommend looking out there for different build orders and different strategies if you wanted to play and be effective. I would, however, recommend that you look at these as resources, including anything that I say. These are my opinions, and I have a set way of playing. Um, there are situations that can arise that can completely catch you off guard, and it's how you deal with that that makes it really fun. I enjoy certain types of play. Some other people may not agree with those types of play, but in the end, the idea is to play your game. And if you're just doing a rush that you read the build order for or that someone showed you, you're playing someone else's game. And the problem with that is that gives you the absence of improvising. Another thing is a lot of these rushes are what's called an all-in rush, which means it's all or nothing. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. And although that's always it, you're either going to win handily or you're going to get smacked down. And to be honest, even as an experienced player who just does it for fun, getting whooped really doesn't do a lot for your self-esteem, and it makes you frustrated with the game. Uh, for that reason, I think you need to take a look at a couple of different resources before you decide on what's right for you. Pick something you're comfortable with and start playing with it. Try to find a friend. Find a friend who you can play cooperative with, because if you're playing against someone that is predictable like the computer is, it gives you a chance to coordinate. In addition, I would also recommend, if you're playing with another person that you're familiar with, see if you can get the voice through game option working, because it actually allows you to talk back and forth through your microphone. That's a really valuable asset. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for now because I can just rant forever on the topic. But I wanted to just recap really quick. Bunch of different modes. It's different from World of Warcraft, and basically the ultimate goal is to see what you can do with what's there, not what someone else found that works. That being said, again, visit our friends at exoticacademy.com for, God, what is it they said? Adult toys at the lowest price, whatever. They have freaky stuff, just tons of stuff, just everything. Go take a look at it if you're over 18. Thanks very much, and I'll be making another one as soon as we get more questions.